All right. I'm pumped.
Still talking, man.
Are you pumped, Riley?
I'm pumped. Why don't you introduce the video, Lewis?
So pumped. All right. Well, thanks for joining anyone and everyone. I'm Lewis May, and this is Riley Seberg. We are from HammerSport Marketing, and today we're going to talk a little bit about our core services and why did we break everything down into this style. So say hi to everybody, Riley.
Hi, everybody. My name is Riley. Welcome.
Awesome.
Thanks for watching. Appreciate you tuning in. And make sure you stay to the end of this episode. I know it's going to seem like one big pitch fest, but I promise you, you'll learn something in this video. I promise.
Yeah, so let's get right into it. This has been an ongoing topic of conversation for our company internally because from day one, we knew that as a marketing company and a digital marketing company, busting into a big realm, that is a real general term that means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So it's like when we say digital marketing, you say, what does that mean?
Oh, so like this,
Yeah, that's a good view. So that's what we learned right away is we need to be able to describe what it is we do in a manner that lets people understand what we're talking about so that they can actually learn how we're doing what we're doing, why we're doing it, why we chose when to do it, so that they can take the information that we are helping present and learn to do this stuff a little bit on themselves and grow their business and grow their own business and marketing acumen. And we realize that if they don't understand what we're doing, that that's never going to work for them. So we created this system to explain our processes so that our clients and our prospects could always know what we're doing and why. So Riley, tell everybody what are our core products. Do you know all 5 of them? Because we just recently added a little middle one in between.
Yeah, I noticed that yesterday. Hold on 1 sec. Let me just make sure. Is it on the wrong one?
I like that. Yeah, that's good.
Can you read it?
I can.
You can read it. It's backwards for me. It's weird.
Oh, it's correct for me, but let me look it up on.
It's not backwards for anybody else. All right, it's only
Good.
Okay, that's weird.
You could just point the camera down at you a little more now, so that's all. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So basically, we identified that in order to actually market on like digitally, right? You have to kind of go in one way. So it's like baking a cake. You got a bunch of ingredients. Got to make sure you put them in at the right time, and you got to make sure that you use them all properly and like cook them to the extent that they're supposed to be cooked in, right? Because otherwise the cake's not fluffy and it's gonna.
Don't put the eggs in the oven and cook them up and then mix them into the cake batter.
Right. Like that's not gonna give you a cake. So that's exactly how we figured it out. It's like it's a core set of ingredients, and our ingredients are our products and services. So it starts with a brand, right? We start with branding. Now there's a whole philosophy, methodology, like we could talk for hours about branding, but that's one of our core products is we offer you a brand, and one of the things that you take away with that is actually a brand book that you can take to other agencies and say, hey, here's my brand book. This is how I want you guys to represent me. And they'll actually understand what you're talking about because they'll know what your brand is.
You should be able to you can literally hand this brand book to anybody that provides any service in digital marketing or marketing in general, and they shouldn't have any questions. That's how developed our brand book is.
So the brand book that's anybody can get a brand book. That's something that whether you're just starting out or you've been in business for 20 years, like the brand book will work for you. Now there's other products and services that we offer. You said Was it testing was in between brand?
Testing is what I added in between branding and digital branding, because some types of companies in going to market as a startup or or a totally new blue ocean in an industry, they should be probably spending money on testing to help determine the statements, ideas, and values that are even in their brand book.
Right. So this is before content creation, before you're blogging, before you're doing anything like that. You're just testing the ideas and seeing if people are receptive to them, right? So however you go about doing that, whether you want to put money behind it or not, that depends on, you know, where you are as a business. But the next step in the process is testing. That's something that we offer. So the third thing we offer on top of that, these are all layers, they stack on top of each other. Once we have the testing, then we start digital branding. Okay, so digital branding is when we start talking about content. That's when we start talking about putting things out on social media, that type of stuff, you know, making video, but making sure that it's all pointing back to the core messaging behind the brands, right? So it's all referenced to that, or powered by that in some way, shape, or form. So it makes the content creation process actually a little bit easier, right? Because you kind of have a framework to approach your process with now. But it's also, what else is it?
Well, it's digital marketing is the digital imprinting of your brand book onto all of the content management systems available. So the first kind of, we call them a content management system because that's what they are. So a website, WordPress, is a content management system. And then so you imprint your brand on there so that visually the graphics and the logos and the colors and the fonts represent what you determined the rules would be in your brand book. And then also the messages and the statements and ideas and values of your brand, which comprise the majority of the brand, is these ideas. Those messages are also then in the content or part of the content management system. So in other words, your brand is going to look and sound the same on your website, your Instagram page, your Facebook page, your blog, and any of the other media that you create to use as a message. So digital media, that's delivered via the internet, and also terrestrial media, that's a brochure or a paper or a printed advertisement, whatever it is. Printed material also looks and sounds like your brand. So we don't do as much terrestrial, that's why we call it digital branding, but you would take your brand and reproduce it on everything that your brand is going to be shown. Anywhere your message, anywhere that has a message coming from your company is going to look, feel, and sound like your brand.
In the digital branding part is making sure that for every distribution outlet that makes sense to your organization, that's where you're putting the brand, right? So it's not just a certain platform, it's not just your website, it's making sure that everything is talking together seamlessly, that they're all sharing each other, like pushing everything back to where it's supposed to go, right?
And so and this is also our first opportunity to start using strategy to also achieve the goals that we intended in the beginning by when we said, hey, we want to grow our business using branding and marketing. So what that means is your website is, what this allows us to do, having compartmentalized and finished the branding before we build a website or apply the brand to your Facebook page, is now we can really focus on the intent of each one of these digital footprints. Instead of thinking about how we convey the message, we're already done with the message because that's the brand. Now we can figure out, how do we sell the product and build the brand at the same time? Except we already have the brand done. So now it's, how do we sell the product alongside showing the brand? And we actually get to do two things on a website and fulfill two intents, which is build the brand of the company. So build the long-term positive reputation that's felt across the world for decades to come, and sell product for you right now, because that's what you got to do to stay in business. And lo and behold, your direct response part of your website is a lot more attractive to humans, because now you have a really, really well-developed brand as well.
So once you take care of your digital branding, now we start talking about marketing and digital marketing, right? So that's when we can finally start testing our direct response mechanisms and seeing if our sales funnels are actually working. We start looking at cost per acquisition. But before we even start looking at that stuff, we start testing, right? We start testing, do another layer of testing ads, testing our messaging now with paid media, right? So it's no longer organic. It's no longer talking to people we know already. Now we're going out to new people, and we're still taking our brand messaging and putting it out there, but we're testing it. So that's the first part of the strategy. The first branding part is all organic. And then once you get to the level 3, now you start adding in paid media, and the paid media is still branding, right? It's still branding, 80% branding, 20% direct response. And the direct response is only retargeting the people that have expressed some interest in some way, shape, or form previously to your product or service.
And so this is stage 4. So this is digital. Now we're into the marketing part. And so this is also how we compartmentalize. These are our core services of branding, testing, digital branding, and digital marketing. There's a 5th one we'll get into in a second. But this lets us say, well, what is Facebook advertising? And so we take each of these individual tools, skills, and strategies throughout marketing in general and say, well, Facebook advertising falls under digital marketing. But the Facebook page development, that falls under digital branding. And then we're also separating the organic content creation is great branding, but is really ineffective for any form of direct response. And so that's why we teach and do organic content creation as part of digital branding, but digital marketing is saying, that's when we start to implement all the other strategies that can share your message above and beyond organic content creation. So it would be adding Snapchat ads to your marketing strategy to find cold traffic that's interested in your industry and push them to your website so that they can see a new provider of that service and product that they have said they're interested in. So now we're taking, and what we know is all the tricks of the trades to get cheap traffic, expose them to your brand, capture them because we've made a brand that is alluring to humans. So get them to know and like you and trust you, and then continue to advertise to that person with more developed messages that move them along the sales process and turn them into customers. Oh, that was perfect. That music was obviously there for a purpose.
Yeah, it was there for a reason.
And that takes us to section 5.
Level 5. So level 5 is once you hit gold, right? Now you're going for the triple crown. So level 5 is you already found what works on level 4. You've proven it. The concept's there. Now you take it.
We've already figured out how to magnify it too. We're not like saying like, yeah, you spent $10 in advertising this week and it gave you 20 back. We've started there and scaled it up as well already. But the next part comes the real scaling.
Yeah. the next part is literally just digital scaling, where we use tools, technology, software, whether it's custom, whether we build it for you, whatever, to bring everything you're doing to the next level. So whether it's automating it, whether it's, giving you a dashboard that you control yourself so that you're not switching from screen to screen, or
Automated disbursement of incoming leads to your sales force.
yeah, bringing it directly into the CRM, like eliminating the friction, and making everything easier and flow a little bit better, while at the same time turning up the heat, spending more money, bringing in more leads, making sure that the systems can support the leads that are coming in, that you know what I mean, like the business isn't crumbling on the other side because of too much stuff coming in. So we try to, even though scaling is like, people focus on scaling the income, like we're really trying to make sure that everything scales out properly so it's not crippled. And
We're talking about scaling the entire business operation.
Right, the entire organization.
Yeah. So scaling your hiring, scaling your HR, scaling your production, and all of those. There's digital tools that literally do that. So how this all fits in is, look, ClickFunnels is a great product for a sole proprietor who's looking to test the market and figure out what works and what doesn't, and add a sales process to an existing business that could be profitable. So you use ClickFunnels to take selling your widgets or your service to the first level of being able to be profitable selling your service. But by the time you're profitable using ClickFunnels, you're also using probably 10 other web-based services, 20 other web-based applications. And so you're now getting to the point where how many passwords and dashboards do you log into every day just to make sure that your business keeps going? And if this is you, then it's time to get away from the services that charge you monthly and start to own these softwares yourself, so that they're designed specifically for your business so that you can actually scale. And this is where we can build custom software that does the job of all 5 or 6 of your individual web-based applications, and log in with one dashboard for your client, dashboard for your employees, dashboard for your managers, and a front-facing website to collect email addresses and start the sales process with your service-based industry, or a blog and a e-commerce site to sell your products. So this is scaling. This is taking everything you've learned in the first 4 steps and now applying it to something so that you can double it, triple it, quadruple it, 10x it, 100 times it. Add employees, scale your business, retire with money in the bank.
That's what it's all about.
So just to review, we've got branding, we've got testing, digital branding, digital marketing, and then scaling, or what we call digital scaling.
And every single level gives deliverables and takeaways. So it's not us like coaching or mentoring you. It's us as an agency giving you actual deliverables that our team creates, that either give you results right now or is a tool that you can use to get results.
Yep. So this is not consultate. We are consultants and then done for you. So we're done for you, chief marketing officers. And that's what we do. The compartmentalization of each one of these subjects is so that you, the customer, you, the client, can understand where we are at the stage in the game, and also understand where your business is at, even if you've been doing this for 12 years. Like there is one of the big problems with branding, Riley, I think, is that there's this shame that's projected out there that it's not okay to not have a brand, yet we should all feel shame because none of us ever do. So then there's the shame propagates the fact that people don't work on their brand, and more of us never have a brand.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier. I was thinking about when Joe was talking about how, like basically it evolves over time, and I was thinking how most of the time people do their branding work when they just start their business, right? And
They
if you
stop.
think, yeah, well, if you think about it, it makes sense because they don't really know how to use it. So they don't know that it can evolve, right? So they
Yeah.
think that what they said is what they have to stick to, and because they told people, they have to stick to it,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy of them being trapped in the past, sometimes 20 years in the past,
Yeah.
right? And so they, Joe's brand is a perfect example, right?
Yep.
Because even though it's 850 Call Joe from when he started, it's like that's when it came out, right? That's who he was when he came out. When he didn't
And
have.
he's evolved, and his brand has evolved.
Now his brand is him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now he's been in the industry for a while. He can stand on his own 2 feet. He doesn't have to rely on 850 Call Joe
No.
to bring in leads anymore. Like he can tell you who he is, what he does, and why he does it, which
Yep.
in reality is what a brand is.
Yep. Yep. So now all we're doing is taking his inner thoughts and the things that make him tick, and putting them out on paper in a clear and concise manner that
So he could say, "This is the new brand. This is what the brand has evolved into."
This is who I have become. This is who this business has become because I've worked hard for the last 10 years to perfect my trade, to become a craft.
The only issue is that it has to continue to be aspirational, and it has to push forward. It can't say this is who I am now. It can't say this is who I was. It has to say this is who we're trying to be.
Absolutely. And that's what our brand does. In addition to building the culture by defining it, you are also building the culture of continuously defining your brand.
Yeah.
And redefining the brand. So that's what is unique about our development process is we have built that redevelopment culture into the process so that you're not doing it correct unless you keep revisiting it.
It has to be something that you're constantly thinking about.
Yeah. And as you add team members to it, those
they should be thinking about it too.
Are contributing and changing it because now it's a different organization.
Right.
If you tell your team members, the organization is 50% different now.
Yeah, a brand, as much as business owners we may want it to be, is not a top-down hierarchy. It's a distributed hierarchy.
Inside out hierarchy.
Yeah.
And all around, like everything affects each other, equally. So we've gone off on a little tangent here, everybody, but the reason being is because we're super passionate about branding. We're super passionate about you guys doing branding, which you're going to see because we're doing webinars about them and doing trainings about them for the next couple of months. And it's so important and it's so fun and it's so easy when you have a system, and yet so few people do it. The reason we're pushing this so hard is we've looked at problem after problem after problem for 2 years, and every one of them didn't have a brand. And it was the root of all their problems. And we're like, how can we sell this person's stuff when they don't have a brand? How can we write an ad for somebody to tell their story if we don't understand their story? We're just going to tell our version of their story and attract to them customers that we think they should have, not that they think they should have.
So if that sounds like you, if you are watching this and you're now concerned because you just realized that may be the missing piece in your puzzle, head on over to HammerSportMarketing.com. Do what you have to do to get in touch with us, and we will start walking you through the path of becoming a brand.
Yep. And if this sparks some curiosity of how we break down our services into brand testing, digital branding, digital marketing, and scaling, if that makes sense to you, or it poses some questions that you don't have the answer to, that's a great reason to get in touch with us. That's why we developed this, is to educate you because we know that you can't make a smart buying decision to purchase our products and services, or anyone else's for that matter, if you're not educated into what is a good decision. So we're willing to take the time to educate you long before we'll ask for the sale. And that's our promise to you.
So with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will be back again soon.
Have a great day, everyone.